Hello, everybody. Hopefully I have my mic on. Did you check yours?
Yeah, it's on. We're on. Woohoo! Oh, Penny's here. Penny, I just emailed you back that I fixed the issue I created, which was I put the wrong link in the Even More Dry Mixes Class 2 and gave you a Halloween PDF. Happy Halloween.
Aziara's here.
Linda.
Hello.
And Tanya.
Tanya.
So,
It sounds very southern, Tanya.
I said that last time, and you didn't say anything about it. I want to fix one thing just a little bit. So I hope you guys are doing really, really well. I know this is, here we go. I feel much happier with that.
Okay. I have a special guest. Who's going to help me? Because I am tired, y'all. I don't know why. Like, we've been sleeping. I can't figure out why.
Look, so many awesome people are here, and more awesome people will be here too. We've got JJ, Vegan Knowledge JJ, Lisa, Jill, Mona. Yay, everybody.
Everybody's here.
Happy almost very new year.
Lisa's here.
We're close, right?
Doris is here.
Yay! Doris with the veggie emojis. I love that. We've got some more lavender sleepy time tea happening.
I do. Mm-hmm.
And who was it? Was Linda, was it you? No, it was someone else who asked if it worked, and I went to sleep pretty easily.
Yeah.
Hey, Lydia. Tanya says, I'm exhausted today, too. I could go to bed now. Hi, Diane.
Today was like back to work day, right? So we had to get sort of get back to work. I guess we worked most of the day.
We worked for like 4 hours-ish. No.
Seemed longer than that.
I came home. I've been working another couple of hours.
I had to clean the kitchen.
Yeah, so that counts as work. It does, because you can do this and there. Hi, Karina and Linda. That tea would knock me out, Tanya, yes. That's what I'm hoping.
That's the plan.
Well, yesterday I took a really long nap, and then I went to bed around midnight because we saw the lights. And I was like, oh, I bet I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. Oh, yeah. I went to sleep, and I slept another 9 hours.
Hello, Leslie.
Yay! And Ron, back to work on Thursday for you.
Kelly says, hello, Mom.
Hi, Kelly's mom. Welcome. So glad that you're hanging out. I have bananas in front of the very bottom of that's what I was moving. We went to... So we met Nancy for breakfast and her husband.
Nancy and Michael.
And they're delightful. And they live, obviously, here. That's how we met for breakfast.
Probably like a mile from the house the other direction. Maybe a mile and a half at the most.
And they're just so sweet. And then we went to Aldi's and Trader Joe's. And you can't see it, but there's an array of fruit. I feel like 3 kinds of citrus and some apples and bananas. So that was very exciting. Tanya says back to work January 6th for me, and it seems too soon.
Yeah.
Right? Hi, everyone from Vegas. Stacey,
Nice.
are you from Vegas?
Nice.
But yeah, and then we went to a coffee shop and we worked, and...
We tried one coffee shop, and then... we had 15 minutes before they closed, and we were like, well.
We couldn't even order a drink between then. Oh, and Tia says, loved the lights last night. Oh,
awesome.
Good. I know it was real hanky. It was shaky, and we're like changing the things between the cars. So, hi, Vegana. It's awesome to see you. So it was a little bit crazy, but it was fun.
No, we were glad we got to show you some of it, at least.
Yeah, we had... Yesterday we were thinking we were going to go to Lights tonight, which obviously we're not.
Yeah. No. And tomorrow night.
What's tomorrow night?
It's New Year's Eve.
Oh, so we can't. And do they close January 1st?
I think so. Well, we probably could. They probably are open tomorrow night. We should check and see, but that would be... I don't know if we want to be on the road on New Year's Eve.
So the lights that Stacy's been there since 1990. The lights we usually go to see are an hour and a half drive from the house. So they are a couple of cities over. And that's really too far to drive on New Year's Eve. I even feel weird the time that we drove to Don and Rob's, which is less than a mile. I just feel like there are a lot of drunk people on the roads.
Yeah. This is not the time of year to be out and about.
No, it's the time to be in your jammies in your living room, or as we will be at some point. I don't know, depending on how tomorrow goes, we might do a live earlier or we might do it later. But we're doing a live tomorrow, and we're doing a live New Year's Day, and it could end up just being chats like this.
Yeah, it could just be us, like maybe even just having lunch or something with everybody. We'll see how that works out.
I make no promises right now, because we're also trying to plan out like the next quarter. So I'm putting down dates for Kathy's Cooking Club, which hopefully will come out tonight or tomorrow. And then I'm going to put the classes with it. Maybe I'll wait till tomorrow and I'll put the classes with it and everything. The save the dates. Then we're also traveling at least once a month.
Yeah.
Through March. And we were trying to organize that a lot too. So it's very interesting. Oh, Mona says she loves the chats. Oh, good. That's nice. I appreciate you guys hanging out and chatting with us always.
Yep.
And Tanya says we're boring. Home with the pooch tomorrow. You know, even when I was younger, I was invited out places for like New Year's Eve and stuff, and I was like, this is a great time to be in my house and read a book.
I often was like ready to go home way before midnight whenever I was younger and would go out.
Yeah, and Aziara says I never go out Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's Eve because of the drunks on the road. And so I just wanted, the reason I wanted to tell you it was so far away, because it's not like it was just, like if it was down the street, we could go at like 6 and get back home.
Yeah.
But there'll probably still be a line. And so
I'll check. It could be that it's open New Year's Day. If it's open New Year's Day, maybe we can go in the evening.
That's our favorite lights, both of ours. And it's a little more, I want to say proactive than the other ones. There's more movement across large spaces because it's in this really big kind of park. I think it's a state park even, maybe.
I thought it was a city. No, I guess it's out in the county.
Tanglewood.
It's in the county, so.
Yeah. So anyhow, I grew up with those lights too going there, so I think it's really, really cool. Hi, Plants Only Muncher.
Yeah. And have you guys ever heard that old saying that whatever you're doing at midnight's what you're going to do for the rest of the year kind of thing? I don't know if that's an old wives' tale
like
or whatever, but
to spend your year.
Yeah. I think, sleeping wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, perimenopausal to menopausal women are like, good sleep all year long. That works really well.
And there'll be some fireworks. There'll be fireworks, definitely, probably from the country club across the street. They always have like a party.
Sounds like we're super fancy. We are not. No. This is the old 1950s country club that there's like another 2 miles now. There's the Smancy one.
Yeah.
But they do still have a pool, which we're not members, so we don't go there. We walk past there on our walks. You guys have seen it. Oh, Angela Fischetti is here. Yay. It's good to see you, dear, and have a great New Year. And Lydia says, I'm so happy to stay home tomorrow. That is exactly how I feel. Sometimes it's hard to get me out of the house. Okay, and Tanya says, my grandma used to say, careful how you're feeling on New Year's Day, because that's how you'll feel all year.
Oh, so we better make sure we're not tired.
Or hungover. There are a lot of people not messing that up.
Yeah.
I think that's all good. So it's your show. I'm just yammering on.
Well, it's kind of both of us today.
I even brought my laptop.
Both
I can
of us.
work so I can.
I just want to check in with everybody, and we've been gone for a while, and I just wanted to say that I had concerns about coming home and having gained a bunch of weight, and I am not. I have not. So I was happy about that. And right now we're, aside from going out to eat this morning, we're focusing
this afternoon.
this afternoon. We just ate at the we just ate at the coffee shop because we were there. It's a vegan coffee shop, so
Hello, Fergus.
we were there. We ate dinner because it was getting late.
So I had the umaro bacon, and so it's made with like seaweed and something. It's pretty interesting. It was a little too oily, I gotta say. I was expecting it to be the least
Yeah.
bad, but they do have like a quinoa salad, and that's what I would get next.
Yeah. So I had a treaty sandwich. They have this. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's this plant-based luncheon meat that's like turkey luncheon meat.
I think it's Unreal.
Unreal Turkey or Unreal Deli, something like that. It's a soy product, isn't it?
It is.
It's a soy product instead of a wheat gluten product, and you don't want any of that, do you? Because it's stinky for you.
To you. You want some lavender
down?
tea, little boy?
Why don't you get down?
Oh, and Stacy says, awesome, Cheryl. And so here's the thing. It takes oftentimes so few days to come home and eat back on plan. So since we got home, today was our first day really kind of off plan, or in our 5% of our 95%. So we've been making oatmeal. You've made some oatmeal. I've made some oatmeal. I made chickpea salad. We had some salads. I made a couple of oil-free dressings we've used.
Yeah, stuff we used, like all the stuff from your class. All those, we've used the
Dressing.
dressings. We've also used the Thai tea.
Oh yeah, the Thai tea powder, and I made in class. So it's green Thai tea powder. And if you haven't had green Thai tea, okay, go look on Amazon, because literally if you zoom in on the package, it's like not for U.S. whatever this green coloring is. So it's pretty bad, but Thai green tea is beautiful because it's like jasmine and mint and pandan and vanilla. So we made a mix of that. I made a sweetened mix. You can make an unsweetened mix as well. Yeah. And you can just put that, and just let it, okay, you're going to let it.
He wants me to hold him. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, he wants to smell your ears. Hello, little buddy. You doing okay?
See how his little eyes watering a little bit?
Yeah, you can lay there.
You can lay here if you want. No? Okay.
Now you have cat hair all over you, but they can't see it. So, this is what our life is, and this is why sometimes we go to coffee shops to work, because all the kitties are, you gave him room to sit down?
I told him he could sit on my leg if he wanted to.
Okay.
I think he's going to.
We'll see how that goes. Vegana says, I know I've gained holiday weight, planning a modified Mary's Mini reset, adding a hearty green smoothie daily. And over the past couple of months, I had gained about 10 pounds, and so this week...
It's the stress of everything.
Yeah, I'm already starting to come down, though, like pretty steadily. We'll see where things hit there, whatever. And I'm probably not going to talk about, I've lost this many ounces since yesterday, because a lot of it's kind of up in the air. But for me, when I'm not doing well, weighing myself every day is a big help. Realizing, and that's a big help for me, if it makes you crazy or makes you feel like it makes you nuts, don't do it. But for me, then I can go, I gained a pound, and then I can go, we ate out, and there was tofu cooked in something, so there was a lot of salt in that. Or I can look around, like the night before when we went to the lights, we did go to a salad place, and I brought balsamic vinegars. So the tofu was cooked in something, but it wasn't that. I don't consider that really far out. Like having the sandwich was a little further off of my plan.
Yeah.
But one thing that's really, really good to remember for me, and I think for you too, because you were really scared to weigh yourself, and you weighed yourself after I did. I was not excited about weighing myself. But I did, and then the next day, I went down like 1.5 pounds just from eating at home for 2 days. It was kind of crazy. And I remember too, like when I did the 12-day McDougall program, we lost a significant amount of weight in that 12 days. And some of it was because we were just compliant. And we talked some, was it a couple of days ago? Yeah, a couple of days ago when the last time we did our tea chat, about if you're doing a little bit of everything and it isn't working, pick one and just do that. Because I also want to do all the things. It's not just you, and she gets into that as well.
Yeah, I'll start picking and choosing things from different sections, and that doesn't ever work for me.
Right, and
sticking with one has always worked for me.
Well, and that's the same thing. And I mean, McDougall gives you such a wide range of eating. It makes it pretty easy. So that's just I don't know, that was a whole quarter's worth of information.
But when I had my sandwich today, I was laughing because I kind of showed her the sandwich. And you know, that like Unreal Deli stuff is very expensive. So a restaurant's not going to put but like one little piece flipped over on it. So I had like probably not even the equivalent of what the package says a serving is on there. And I was laughing because I said, this is my way of getting lettuce and mustard into me today, because the sandwich was like this tall and it was all lettuce and mustard, and then on the very bottom was a little sheet of the turkey.
And it was vegan turkey too, just to be real clear. Yeah, and Mona, kind of joining things to immerse yourself in can be really good. And this caveat isn't even directed at you, but just at everyone and myself, is that it's real easy to go, oh, I want to do this that Rose does, and I want to do this that Dr. McDougall does, but I want to get into all the vegetables that, you know, the nutritarians do, and I want to make sure I follow that blueberry study that Dr. Greger, and that's too much.
Yeah.
If you're starting. So let's say you've lost your weight. You can pick and choose and do some things, and as long as you feel like that's going well, no one's trying to tell you to do different. But what I hear from a lot of people, and myself, because I was all kvetchy, like, oh, no, I'm gaining weight, I'm mad. But I wasn't really stepping back and going, well, what's the one thing that got me back on track? Oh, I don't know, eating at home. Right? I mean, it's a hard thing and a simple thing at the same time. So, yeah, and Aziara says, sticking with one plan gives you specific guidelines. And I think it's a lot easier to do that, because if you're doing too many things, you're going to be on too many forums and watching too many YouTube videos. And Dr. McDougall is going to say don't have any kind of nuts or seeds if you're trying to release weight, or very little. That would be very, very seldom. Dr. Greger is going to tell you, did you get it in your daily dozen? And it's not that one thing is wrong and one thing is right. It's just they conflict. So that's all. Oh, that's a good idea, Vegana. Started rewatching Forks Over Knives and the Game Changers to get inspired. I think that's really good.
I love the Game Changers. That one always gets me fired up a little bit.
And Lydia has a perfect point as well. I have to be really careful with myself. I have an eating disorder, and sometimes I feel myself go down a slippery slope. Absolutely. So you have to know yourself, and so far, and I check in, just like when we do something, we kind of pre-game and post-game. Like the first time we went to the Indian buffet, this is what we think we're going to do. How do we do? How do we feel about it?
Yeah.
So I have to do the same thing internally. So when I first started weighing myself every day, I was like, I'm not sure this is going to be okay with me. And then it was. It hasn't made, I don't go, oh, I've gained a pound since yesterday, I'm not going to eat. You know, and if it caused me to start having that kind of crazy thinking, then it might not be the thing for me to do. Oh, good. Oh, Mona says it's a reboot and exercise and yoga. Excellent. I think that's great. Used to. Lydia used to have that. And Linda's a nutritarian, and we support you guys in whatever plan you choose that works for you.
Because we're all in this together. We're all just like trying to do the best we can to be the healthiest us, right? So whatever works for you to make you the healthiest you can be, we are all on board with that.
Absolutely. And Vegana says the same thing. I know for me, it's definitely eating at home. And I can say over almost 60 years, every time I was really poor and had to eat at home, I was in brilliant shape.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper. Also, since we are traveling more, and we're spending more money on that, I don't want to be spending money going out to eat, because even at a crappy restaurant, we can spend $60.
Yeah, like today, 2 sandwiches and 2 drinks was $40 with the tip.
You didn't even buy my drink.
That's right, I didn't. It was one drink.
And your drink. It was $10 for 2 drinks before that. And our drinks were just brewed tea.
Yeah, tea. That's it.
It wasn't like we got superfragicalistic coffee with sprinkles on top or something. It was just
tea. I had Darjeeling tea over ice. That was it.
I had iced mint tea, and it was delightful.
But I would rather, spend my money on getting a little souvenir wherever we go, so I have something to remember it by.
Yeah, well, you always get a souvenir wherever
I like
you go.
T-shirts.
Anyhow.
I like to get T-shirts.
Yeah, she got us all 4 of us little celebrity cruise mugs, and they're actually quite nice.
Because I was reading on a forum, and they were saying that if you don't have a drink package, the best thing to do is have one of these and go fill it up at the buffet whenever you want something to drink, and just carry it around with you.
Or water. Like for me, I need ice for my water. We were traveling with 2 people who are like, no ice in my water. And I'm like, I am all the ice. We have an ice machine just so we can have our ice filled up all the time, all the way. And Tanya says, I never eat out or order in. Then you are so golden.
Yep.
It's expensive. You can make it better. One of the pitfalls we fall into, if I'm working, so some of my work is cooking, but some of my work is photography, writing recipes, scheduling class. So I have a lot of this stuff. And so she'll be like, oh, I don't want Kathy to cook anything, so I'm just going to order in. But we don't have any whole food plant-based places. I mean, we can get some salads in, but then still,
we have vegan places, but all the vegan places are like mostly vegan junk food. And they each have maybe one little thing that you can get that might be lean closer towards the good side, but not for the most part. Like Pure Soul has the black-eyed peas.
The soul bowl is pretty good. So there's usually one option. But the thing is the more you can just have things at home, the better off you are financially and health-wise in general. And Aziara says, weighing every day, you should track and see patterns. I can be stuck even eating well and then suddenly drop 2 pounds. And
that was one of the things we noticed a lot when we were doing the McDougall program, is like we'd see a couple days where we were just like, why has this stopped? And then all of a sudden we'd be down 3 pounds. And it was weird how your body does the things.
Well, and then with Stacy, we would look and we'd be like, oh, you ate at the Indian buffet yesterday.
Yeah.
So, of course, you've gained 3 pounds.
You've got salt.
Salt and more food.
Yeah.
And we would look at things like that. And it is nice to track when you can. Also, if you... And again, track however you track. Maybe the people who can't weigh themselves, maybe it's how your clothes are fitting. It could be a lot of different ways that you can kind of just gauge what's going on. But Stacy from the McDougall program has come on, Stacy Cross, and mentioned that sometimes when people get stuck on the starch solution, they need to actually add more starch, which is kind of interesting. So there's some talks about that, and we should be, I know that we'll be scheduling them back on for the year as well. I've gotten some days from Tiffany haven't gotten anything from Stacy yet. It's going to be a little trickier scheduling this year.
From the Tracys?
What do you mean?
You remember I kept calling them Tracy, and it was like a combination of Tiffany and Stacy.
Okay, now I remember.
You were like, who's Tracy?
What? Oh, and Tanya was saying she spends her money on kitchen appliances. Ozzy, our giant, says, Tanya, me too. I resisted the Ninja Crispy from the discussion the other day.
Oh.
So far, I haven't gotten it either.
But we also haven't been to Costco or any place yet.
That has it. But Hydrant is like, really, hey, Vi, it's good to see you. Oh, this is awesome.
So also, I want to mention, like, one of the things that I wanted to mention tonight was also, if while you were with your family, you indulged in a taste of something that you would not typically eat, do not feel bad. I do not want you to feel bad about yourself because you had a taste of something. I want you to feel great that you spent time with your family and you had a good time, and now you are just like, whoop, we're off to the races on the next thing. Do not beat yourself up. Do not feel bad. Do not feel guilty. It's okay. And you're just going to pick up and you're going to move on. And if that means you wait until after New Year's Day to pick up and move on because you still have family there and you're still doing stuff and the grandkids are there and you're having bites of cookies or whatever, that's fine. Live your life.
Yeah.
Be your best self, and just once everybody's gone out of the house and it's back to just you doing your thing and your family, your husband, wife, whatever, then you just go on to your regular day-to-day just like you always do. But don't beat yourself up about it. I've heard too many people just like, oh, the kids were here, I had a bite of turkey. It's like, don't beat yourself up about that. It's okay.
Right.
You can just pick up and move on.
Well, and it's okay to let the past be the past.
Exactly.
Sometimes. And especially if you're using the past to beat yourself up with like a whip.
Yeah.
So I think it's also equally, if you don't have a lot of emotional attachment, and you can go, oh, I ate this cookie that I didn't really like, and it was like 1,000 calories. I wish I hadn't done that. And you're going, oh, that's okay. Starting right now, I'm giving all those cookies away to a neighbor, so I'm not even going to be tempted. But if you're just kind of going, oh, I ate those cookies, I'm really bad.
I'm a horrible person.
I'll never get what I want. Like
now I'm done. I'm never going to get back to where I was. That's not true. You're going to.
Right. And there's all different kinds of ways to feel. So like Tanya's saying she didn't feel bad for eating takeout. And we're certainly not trying to tell you to feel bad. She was annoyed that that it sucked.
Oh my God.
Money on it. Yeah,
this is us. Every time we eat out lately, like, it's just like, oh, that was horrible. Like when we were driving down to Orlando and we stopped to eat dinner, and we had such a spectacular lunch at the back of a game store. That was just this amazing place.
Like Jeremy was like
in Florence, South Carolina.
And
Jeremy's like the pro at finding restaurants.
This Indian restaurant. We're like, okay.
And this Indian restaurant had all these raved reviews about it. And so we were like, okay, let's stop and eat there, because if we keep driving, there's not going to be anything open by the time we get there. So we stopped to eat, and then we all just were kind of like,
I would have been
underwhelmed
happier with just some rice and dal. And actually,
completely underwhelmed.
Jeremy was like, all I would get next time is dal and then a bunch of rice. And then we were like, that sounds delightful.
Yeah, we were just like completely underwhelmed by it. And then we were all just kind of PO'd that we spent money on that. And we were just like,
Right.
And then we all had to sit in the car and be like, for the next 2 hours.
It was like
we were all very pouty because we had that amazing lunch, and then
that we thought would never be amazing.
We thought it was never could be amazing in the back of a game store, and then we had this dinner at this place that was supposed to be amazing, and we were just like,
Well, Elizabeth came on and welcome. She said, what are we chatting about tonight? I think we're chatting about regret, forgiveness, and eating at home.
Yeah.
That's how I would summarize this.
We were talking about, people do not need to beat themselves up if they had cookies, they had cakes, they had a bite of turkey, they had whatever for the holidays with their family. Everything is okay, and you're going to come out on the other side of this back to your normal day to day. Once everybody's out of the house, once everything settles down from the holiday, you're back at it. Your life's going to get right back to where it was, and you're going to be okay. Do not beat yourself up about it. Do not have regrets, and do not be angry at yourself, because it's okay.
Right, and Elizabeth says, amen to that, and exactly. I think what's the biggest progress killer is that whole regret and doubt and gnawing on yourself, and you just feeding that instead of going, oh, like one of the things Howard Jacobson talked to us a lot about was like, okay, that's data. It doesn't have to be a feeling in your gut where you judge yourself on this thing that you did.
Right.
Like, you didn't go murder someone.
Right.
You ate a cookie. And while that may feel just as harsh to you, and I'm not trying to say it is not okay to feel big feelings, it's okay to feel big feelings, turn them into data, and then use that data to really lift yourself up. And if you feel like you can't do those things on your own, find an accountability partner, talk about it in here, because what can be hard, especially if you isolate, is getting that positive feedback from someone from a neutral party, right? Like Cheryl and I may grouse at each other about things we would never grouse about to anybody else. And I think that's any married couple or any family or people living together. And so we've talked about this before too. Like I think I'm so glad you've become really good friends with Elizabeth, because you have this other outlet that's independent of me, who can just take you without anything that they've experienced, and you get to be a new person and reinvent yourself. And that's one of the things that's so awesome about a community and being close with people. Don't you think?
Yep.
And it's one thing that we don't talk about. Everybody goes, we need community. Well, why do we need community?
Yep.
Oh, Jennifer's here. Yay, Jennifer
Hey.
Diamond.
We still haven't got that stuff together for you, but we will do it. I promise.
Oh, the affiliate stuff?
Yeah.
Jennifer, email me, and I can do it in I just need your PayPal email address. Email it to kathyhester@gmail.com, and then I will set you up. And if you don't know what any of that means, just email me and we'll make a time. Oh, you're hilarious. Tanya says the Church of Fancy. Yeah, and Vi was saying that's good advice, Cheryl. Absolutely. And Penny says, I have a neighbor who knows how I eat but dropped off a hot cocoa with marshmallows and a cup package and a mitt with a cookie mix inside to bake. I hate to say it, but I'll be putting it in the garbage. And it's okay if you want to put it in the garbage. I would be regifting that.
Yeah,
But that's me, if that's too much for you to do.
Or I mean, it looks like you could keep the cup in the mitt.
And let everything else go.
Yeah, let everything else just kind of go.
Because they won't know what happened. And it just depends on your feeling, how big your feelings are. If you don't have, if you're just kind of mad at them for giving you stuff they shouldn't have given you, I would give it away, or drop it off at a shelter or a women's shelter. But if you don't feel like doing that and getting it in the garbage is what's going to help you the most, I 1,000% support you in doing it.
My white hat keeps throwing off the camera. I'm sorry if you see it going like this. It's because I wore a white hat.
Let me
tonight.
I'll see if I can turn that down a little bit.
It just keeps trying to autofocus on my hat and it can't. Sorry.
Let me see if I remember where I'm trying to.
That's why I usually wear a colored hat, and I didn't even think about it.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
you have to tell me. I can't see.
I was too busy trying to make my
Being
hat
silly?
straight and then turning it off to the side. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the white isn't quite as bright. That's where it needs to be at night. At day, it has to be a different one. When it rains, it's all exciting. Elizabeth says, Dr. Lim said in our program something like this: if you're going to eat a Krispy Kreme donut, the worst thing you can do is not enjoy it. Enjoy that donut and then get right back on track.
Amen.
And I do agree with that, because I think it doesn't make any sense to do something you know you're not going to like that. But anyhow, yay, I agree. And Mona says, I've been saying tomorrow for 3 weeks now. Thank you for tonight's chat. Hopefully that will break the cycle.
Awesome.
And it is helpful. And I mean, whatever thing it is for you. For me, it was going back on the scale today. Maybe for you, it means making some overnight oats before you go to bed, or putting some oats in the slow cooker so they're ready. Like we did that 2 days ago, because we knew we were meeting people for breakfast today. And we're lucky we have a place that has a tofu scramble. I'm like, yes.
A nice tofu scramble,
Yeah,
too. You can
like-
get lots of veggies in it and stuff.
So, and then this afternoon, we got last minute invited to somebody's birthday breakfast.
At the same place.
At the same place for tomorrow. So we will be having tofu scramble again. So what's kind of funny is usually we would not do this twice in a week.
Yeah, we would maybe do it once a month.
And usually we try to bring out some friends and meet so that we can do something fun with them. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Kitty Mommy is here.
But also, we really, since we got home Christmas Eve, we really haven't, indulged in a lot of anything, I don't feel like.
I was on a mission.
You were, you walked in the door the minute we got home and put sweet potatoes in the oven. I mean, she hadn't even brought everything in from the car, and she's in here putting sweet potatoes in the oven.
I was making my plan on the way home.
She was on a mission.
I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And because I knew things were kind of loosey-goosey. I knew they were going to be a little looser even at Disney than we like it to be, but it was even looser than that. And like we said before, I felt like on the cruise, in general, we did pretty well.
Yeah, we had a few snacky times. We some snacky evening.
There was
things.
one evening that I didn't do, so I had ice cream and I had a piece of vegan pizza. But on the cruise, other than the bread that I ate with every dinner,
dinners were really, really good.
yeah, and they were like tiny cuisine style things.
Yeah.
And actually, Elizabeth can tell you more, because even though we didn't eat together, she was on the same ship, eating in the same restaurant too. Like, it was really cute.
Off of the same menus.
And hopefully, Elizabeth, you got some of the soups and salads too, because they were just delightful. Oh, Nancy's here. This is who we had breakfast with this morning, which is awesome. Oh yes, Vegana is saying community is one of the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. It's extremely important. Aw, and that's
Thank
why
you.
you two are so valuable to us. And I think it's important for all of us. It's important for us to have you as well. You guys are really important to our life.
Exactly.
But it's a kind of connection that you don't always get to have.
Right. And they always say it takes a village, right? And I think our village is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. No, I'm very happy and well behaved and mannered, which you guys don't know me well enough to know what kind of compliment that is. My pet peeves are people not putting the carts back. I'm a stickler. Vi says, PB with Jeremy has said something like, wherever you are, be there 100%. So if you're eating something you wanted, but it's off your plan, be present in the moment and enjoy it 100%.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, and enjoy it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't sit there and dwell on it. It's done.
Right. And it's just, it's just part of life. I mean, we're not doing this for 39 days or 412 days. This is a lifetime thing.
Right. This is how we're eating for the rest of our life. So, I mean, there's going to be times when you're going to venture off and do a little something different, and then you're just going to come right back.
Yeah, and I think that's good. And Penny was saying, I'll try to regift it, and I'm trying to declutter. I get that. Good ideas. I'm not mad at them. And yeah, just don't feel pressured to...
Unless you know that your neighbor is a complete, like, mean person and did that intentionally, I would say your neighbor thought that they were being sweet, and just take it that way.
And a lot of people forget. Mm-hmm. Like, when I'm writing a book, you'd be surprised. I have one friend who asks me for the whole year when my book is coming out. And on the other hand, I will ask you, like, ask Cheryl, what date is that we're traveling next? No, but what date? What day of the week? Like, I just can't keep it together. So a lot of times I try to just let myself think the best too. And then some people think that I'm just spacey and whatever and naive. But I just don't want to deal with it. I'm like, it's not important enough.
She can compartmentalize anything. It's just kind of weird. She can make a firm wall on, those dates are not my responsibility. I just need to know what they are on the calendar so I don't double book. And then sometimes she still double books. So,
I haven't done that in a little while.
Yeah, that's true. You haven't. We thought we might have had today, but it was crisis averted.
Yes. I'm not good with the calendar. So, like, I've made this new system for us about colors for when we're staying overnight before we go on a cruise, and when we're staying with our parents after we travel, like all these different things. Jennifer's saying, today I felt terrible because I've been so busy, I haven't made time to eat enough and got a terrible headache. And that's a real problem too.
Yeah.
And it's true, it can go either way.
Yeah. And we do that sometimes, and then we don't realize it until we're both like snipping at each other that, wait.
And it's hard. And one of the things that I wanted to do this week that I feel like we've been successful at, I'm still in the middle of the world. Like, this is this is Monday. It's not the middle of the week, but it's in the middle of my week because it goes from last week to this week, evidently. But I wanted to make sure we were eating breakfast because sometimes if I'm busy and I'm not hungry, I'll just wait and we'll just have our oatmeal at 1 or whatever. It's there, so if she's hungry earlier, she can eat it, or I can eat it when I'm hungry. But when we start doing that, we stop listening to our hunger cues, and it usually is a slippery slope for both of us. So I was like, we're going to have breakfast, and we have had breakfast. And it's been fantastic and made everything else easier.
And then if we choose not to eat lunch, it's not that big a deal. Or if we just work through lunch, then we'll just have an earlier dinner, and that seems to be working well for us again.
Yeah, so I think so too. Oh, and Mona found some of the Mayakoba beans.
Oh, nice.
They are fun. And Jennifer says a plan is so key. Success before you feel hungry. Absolutely. So, like, we still haven't finished the beans that are in there. Like, when I did class on Saturday, I had made some, like, Singapore curry powder. And I'm like, well, I took some aquafaba to make this dressing. Do you want me to make a chickpea salad? Expecting everyone to go, why would we want you to make a chickpea salad? We can all do that thing. And everybody's like, yes. And so we made a curried chickpea salad, and I ate on that for a couple of days with salad greens and with the Caesar dressing I made in Alive. So, like, it is nice to have food around, and every time I cut up one head of romaine, I cut up 2. So one is for us now, one is for tomorrow. Just to get a little ahead. If I get too far ahead with lettuce, Cheryl will not want to eat any more lettuce. So if I cut up 5 heads of romaine, Cheryl will be like, nope. I don't know how it always happens, but it seems to work with that. And Video 1000 Nights says, I have non-compliant food at home due to a guest. It's been really hard not to eat it all over and over. It's all vegan, but not SOFA's free. Yeah. it's very hard when there is food in the house. Or I remember when I used to go to John and Claire's, I would always have a candy bar and like just a chocolate bar, a nice chocolate bar. We're not talking about like I had a case of Snickers or something. But
I can't imagine you doing that ever.
I'd have a little bite because sometimes Claire could be a little judgy about people eating something sweet, even though she ate sweet stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I noticed those kinds of judgments and things. So, like, I would have my little piece of chocolate in my room before I go to sleep, because I used to stay with them for holidays for decades.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so it can be interesting. So I'm wondering, one of the reasons I did that is that it gave me a sense of control. And I was, like I said, I'd have this candy bar that I would eat on for 10 days, 12. It's not like I was like, one of the things I got today for me, because I've been craving something sweeter, and I want to do some more Ninja Creamy Pints, actually. But we got bananas, we got apples, I got...
those grapes.
We got grapes.
Which was awesome, because I like the green cotton candy grapes, and she likes those teeny tiny little red grapes.
They're yummy.
And at Trader Joe's, they had a pack with like, one side was the green grapes and one side was the teeny tiny red grapes. So it was like it was made just for us.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
And then, but I got some you see them back there, with the little leaves on them.
Oh, over there. Oh.
Yeah, there. And then I got some blood oranges that I thought would be good to make a creamy or maybe a fun dressing. But I'm wondering, 1000 Nights, is there something that's real seasonal, like persimmons or cranberries or something that could still be a treat that might be compliant for you, or a special kind of potato that you might like? Anyhow, just some ideas. And Jennifer says she's dealing with the same thing where she is, lots of non-compliant food and family staying there.
Yeah, it's hard when the family's there and everything's going on and the grandkids are running around, and, you know, somebody's going to run up and say, hey, taste this, Grams, you know, and you're not going to go, oh, you're going to be, okay, and it's okay.
And it's also okay to not. Like, there were a couple of things, like last night I was being pretty on point, even though I had tofu and potatoes that probably were cooked in some oil at the salad or bowl place. I didn't take any of their dressings. I brought balsamics with me. And I was offered to taste different things, and I just said, no, thank you. I'm good. And it can be weird. People can be weird about it. And Penny says, some people just don't get it. They would not think those ingredients were not what I eat. Exactly.
Yeah.
They just don't get it. It's annoying. I have really good friends who don't know the difference between being gluten-free and being vegan, because these are just words that are bandied about in public, and they're not attached to them. And that's okay too. Tia says it's off-topic question about that large microwave glass bowl. Can you use the lid? Yes, you can, and it is metallic, and I don't understand.
We both were like, no, we can't use that, but you can, and we've used them several times.
It's not blown up.
Nothing catches on fire.
There's not a steamer type insert with it, but you could put one in there. But actually, you don't even need it. You just put a little water in the bottom, because the bowls are kind of like vase shaped, and so it works out really well. Aww. Elizabeth says, I brought your salad dressing to my uncle's house tonight to put on the salad I was making, and everyone loved it. Also put a bottle of regular dressing on the table. Oh, that's sweet. And is the recipe from the lemon sauce available? Yes, it's fixed now. It was not the right link, and now it is. So yes, it was a chickpea flour sauce. It's a mix, like all the other dry mixes I've been making. And it's got chickpea flour and lemon powder and za'atar, and it's kind of like a nice Middle Eastern one. Really easy. Oh yeah, the sumos are out. The sumos, I got some of those too.
We got a first timer Go back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sherry!
Yay! Is it Sherry or Cherry? Let's just make sure, because
That's probably a good idea.
Because it could go either way. Because a lot of people say my name Cherry.
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
That's what Diana does. She calls you Cherry. And this is a great idea, Stacy. Cut and core pear, sprinkle with cinnamon, and roast until soft. It could be an apple too, and you can even put those in the microwave. There is no shame in that game. And I will tell you, you know, a crumble, you can just put a little bit of date paste, mix it up with some cinnamon, some oats, sprinkle that on top, and then I love that. I made that for us not so long ago.
I actually, in today's newsletter, I actually put one of your crumble recipes in the newsletter.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because I was kind of thinking about a crumble earlier today. I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind a crumble. And
You didn't tell me, or I would have made you a crumble.
Well, I was like, I would like a crumble, but I don't really need the crumble. And then I didn't know if I wanted to waste my good apples on a crumble. Sorry, but those are my favorite.
It's okay. We have some other apples that will be crumble ready.
Okay.
Lydia says, my grandkids know that I'm vegan, so they'll ask me first if I can eat something.
That's so sweet.
Great. And that's not always so common. And Jennifer says, my neighbors brought some non-compliant cookies and a tomato plant just for me.
Nice.
And I was shocked and so surprised. Next time, try and get them to skip the cookies altogether, right? And good on you, Monique. Do you want to read that one?
Monique says, hi, everyone. All sounds yummy. Ate too much non-compliant food. Just going to move forward and get back on track. That's exactly what we're talking about. And that's exactly the attitude to have on it. Very good.
Yeah. You're caught up on comments.
I'm caught up on comments?
That's because I'm here.
It's
isn't
true.
It? You're always like,
No,
when are you gonna
I'm
stop
like,
talking?
if you're not here, I'm like this, reading comments. And there's all this dead space while I'm reading comments because, I'm sitting here trying to read.
They're big,
and
it's
they're big,
now.
and it's
I
big.
want you to understand, it is so big.
Giant.
It's really, really big. Like what happened is I let Cheryl get a new TV for downstairs. And she's like, oh, we'll just sell it. I'm like, can we put that there? So, I mean, it's a big TV.
It's a 42-inch TV in front of us.
So everything is really large.
But we can see it now.
What else did you want to talk about? She's just saying this is inspiring to hear right as we start a new year.
Yes. And that was the plan. No, I wanted to make sure that, because I know there are probably a lot of people out there who are just going, oh, I've just shot all my goals. I've just ruined everything for the year. No, you haven't. The holidays are like this special week. And for people who have the opportunity to just keep on going the way they're doing and not have to experience anything else, great. But for people who have family coming and they have to cook for other people and all these things, you do you for those days, and then you come back and get right back on track. And I don't want to be that person going, oh, well, first of the year. It may not be exactly on the first of the year that you can do that. It's going to depend on, you're going to need a little, if you've had a house full of people, no matter how much you love those people, after so long, you're tired of those people being there. For my family, I think the max is 3 days until my dad's going, you're still here? And trying to help us get our luggage out of the house as fast as you can.
It really did happen last time. Because, the thing is we really wanted to get going, but
we stayed.
I had felt like her mom had been lonely, so I wanted to make it extra special. Because I'm like, do you want us to take you anywhere? Can we help you do anything in the house? And she's playing her game, and I'm just like, I could be at home. And then her dad comes through and thinks, y'all are still here? For real. And I was like, well, I guess that's our clue to go. And, oh, people.
But, if tomorrow's also like the wrap up of the holiday season for the year, right? So tomorrow is New Year's Eve. And maybe your family's not leaving till the weekend since it's the middle of the week, It kind of can throw stuff off. Your beginning of your year can start whatever day you feel like you have taken time for you to relax, rest, do something for you, hot bath, long walk, go read a book. Go just walk around someplace like the mall, any place you want to go that you're just like, I'm away from all these people who I've been around for the past week of my life, and now I can just take some time for me. And make sure you take that time for you, because it's going to be very important for you to take that time so that when it comes to the day when you're like, all right, it's New Year. This is my new year, start of my new year. You're going to be rested and ready to go and be able to get your stuff together and all your plans together and everything like that. They are doing your favorite thing right now.
I know. I just wanted to say too, I think we've talked yesterday and today a little bit about being tired. I think it's our bodies also just trying to catch up so it can just, and I don't think starting January 1st to do something, that's why I wanted to get those potatoes in before January. Yeah. And also, it's fine to start something on January 12th.
It is.
Or April 16th, or whatever day you want to start. But yeah, people are talking about word of the year.
This is her favorite thing to do.
I didn't do one last year.
I
did a feeling.
That's right. You were vibing last year.
I was vibing, and it worked.
It did.
It really did work. I met a lot of goals that I set out.
You did.
Because I was searching for that vibe. When you do something, you just feel like really empowered and good, and like, oh, I feel like I can trust myself. I didn't have a word for that. But Nancy and Elizabeth are both having joy for their word of the year. I did it. I did that one time. Here's a hint. See if you have anything in your Christmas stuff that says joy, and you can keep that out all year. That's what I did to remind myself. And Stacy was saying, is anybody planning on picking a word for the year? I think it's Sherry, but you will correct me. Thinks hers will be present. Present is really good. Yeah, and Elizabeth's saying trying to do things that bring joy this year. And I like that idea, because sometimes you want to take an action to make some of these things happen.
Yep.
Oh, and Tanya says worthy.
Nice.
That's pretty interesting. Let's see. Stacy hasn't chosen hers yet. Susan is mindfulness, and I'll go back and read some other things too. Adventure, that's a good one. Oh, balance is a good one. I tried balance one year, but I think balance doesn't really exist.
Not for you.
Me.
Not for you.
For me. I'm not telling you guys. I think self-nurture, self-care, nurturing. You can just be nurturing and direct that to yourself. Execution, like as in action, get it done. I think that's really good. Have you thought about anything like that?
Well, I can't find the exact word that I'm looking for, but,
talk it out. Maybe
with my new career move and, going more towards, working together and things like that. And, it just came to me. Productive.
Just productive?
Productive.
Okay, we'll put that in the queue. I'm wondering if that's really, I think, because you were talking too kind of about
identity.
Who you want to be, identity. Productive doesn't necessarily pull from that within as much. And just so
That's
you guys
more of
know,
the action to come from it.
yeah, and just so you guys know, I'm not trying to pick on Cheryl about that, but since we'd had a talk and she was having trouble kind of identifying what was going on with her, and then realizing that she was having trouble identifying it because she's looking for her identity.
Yeah, so like, I feel like there was my old identity when I was this tech support person and I worked for this company, and a lot of my identity was kind of intertwined with what I did. And now that I'm not doing that, I keep getting in these periods where I'm just like, who am I?
They've got some good words for you.
Oh, yeah? Thrive is good. I like that.
Oh, wait. Debbie was saying thrive. Thrive. Vegana was saying renaissance or rebirth.
Rebirth could be good. Transformation.
Like a phoenix. You could think of a phoenix.
Oh, phoenix,
like
yeah.
That. Transformation. That kind of does that. Thrive, transformation, rebirth.
Because, I kind of had the phoenix during my last transitional period, which really helped me a lot. And this is kind of the same thing. Instead of going from, a relationship point, now I'm going from a working point.
Yeah, because we have to reinvent and re-see ourselves sometimes when we have these kind of big life things. Ooh, Lydia's going to be courage.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Her eyes sparkled when she said productive, but when Doc asked her in a thing, he's like, well, who are you? And what if you had the perfect day, what would you do? And the first thing she said is, I would check everything off my to-do list. And that's not a perfect day. So that's also why I was kind of like, it sparkles, but it's not, that's a thing, but it's the real meaning behind it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if you are experiencing this rebirth, this regeneration, you will get the things done on your to-do list.
That's
you
true.
will get,
That's true. Yeah.
So some of it too, and that's what I overthink things too. So I take that. Like for me, when I think of a word, I try to think of a feeling and then try to go from there instead of thinking of just what one action.
I like the whole idea of using the phoenix as my spirit animal this year. Did you type something wrong? Oh, you did a typo.
For the opinion flakes. Instead of onion flakes. Oh, I can believe
she does
that.
Proofreading. Do you need one?
I am the reason editors and proofreaders exist. Oh, we'll try and go and change that and re-upload it. I'll have to change the link probably too.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
So I think I'm gonna let the phoenix be my spirit animal again.
That's a great idea, and you can
and rebirth is my thing because that's basically what I need to do. So.
And for all of you guys who are trying to come up with your words, and those of you who have, put how you did it in the comments too. But it's also okay to try one on. Try that on tonight, and in the morning, if it doesn't feel like it fits, you can discard it, just like you would your plaid cargo shorts for some with little flamingos on them.
See, Vegana's already reading my mind.
Yeah, phoenix tattoo. Yeah, I think that would be really good. Oh, and this is interesting. Stacy says, in my grief educator alumni group, they suggest marrying your interests, maybe using tech to meet your nutritional and coaching goals. That's very interesting. And yeah, so this is what Penny is laughing at. I just uploaded those. So it is me. It's onion soup mix. Combine all ingredients except for the opinion flakes. Flakes have opinions too. I didn't say that, but yeah, I do need to Penny, and I will probably email you. I think you looked at the other manuscript that I did earlier this year, so we'll talk about that with potions and powders if you want.
See, I could get a little fox that just kind of comes around that way.
Or you could just do a whole other one on your other shelter.
That's true. I could.
It's up to you. It's your body. It's your tattoo. Okay, let me see if there's any more about this, and if not, I will go back up. What about reinvent, Nancy says?
That's kind of what I'm doing too.
Oh, Penny said, just look at your face. That made me crack up. Good. I'm glad you're laughing. We should all have fun. Oh,
that's
all.
nice.
I'm getting a phoenix in honor of kicking cancer's butt.
That's
Yay.
awesome.
That's
Yay.
amazing.
Yay. And Cherry, you may not, know about my background since you're new. I had a job that I was in that I did tech stuff for 17 years and was just out of the blue let go in September, mid-September. Came back from vacation, and the next day I got laid off, and we were having a big reorg, and I got caught up in it. And so at first I felt like I was fired, and I felt like it was my fault and there was something I could do, but I have come to realize now that there wasn't anything I could have done about that. It was not my fault. That was numbers. That was somebody looking at years of service and amounts they got paid and going, we can lose this one, we can lose this one, we can lose this one. And so I understand that now, so I don't beat myself up like I did initially. But now I'm transitioning into working with Kathy Moore on her channel. We're starting the travel channel, which is something that we're going to do together, and I will kind of take the lead on a lot of that. I've worked on getting my coaching certification. I've got a second certification that I'm going to be working on. And, just I'm completely reinventing myself. I mean, somebody used the word reinvent, and that's really what it is, because I've had to change my whole way of thinking, the whole way that I do things. And it's been kind of a challenge over the past few months. It was not something that we were expecting. It was something that we were thinking we would do in the next 2 or 3 years. But the universe took a 2x4 and whacked it across my head and said, why don't you do it now? And so that's where we are.
That's true.
And we're doing it now.
And I think it's working out well. And that's also a stressful thing just for us to be working on changing a lot of things together. But I'm also, we're kind of trying to think of the right word, but basically I'm like, let's just go on a bunch of vacations and make a new channel. Whatever the word is for that.
The thing is, though, they're not really vacations because we're actually working while we're on them.
But
so.
I always
the
work
last
on
one,
my vacations, so they're still vacations to me.
Well, and I always worked on my vacations, but I'm working differently now.
Right, and you get to have fun.
And I get to actually have fun now instead of staying up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning just
doing boring stuff. Well, and we're also the thing about us getting to travel and do some more things together, so we get to enjoy that. And then we get to enjoy and figure out how to do things a little differently. So I think it's going to be really neat. I wanted to kind of address this. Video 1000 Night says, do you guys partially, honestly feel being healthy, whole food, plant-based requires being willing to be hungry sometimes? I'm starting to come to this conclusion a bit more than the first few years that were easier. I would disagree. And at the same time, I've heard both Tiffany and Stacy say that sometimes if you're getting closer to your goal weight, you're probably going to have to eat less, so there may be a time that you do feel hungry, and maybe this is your time. But I feel like almost all of the time for me, if I'm hungry and I'm not sure what to do, it's because I haven't planned. I don't have a sweet potato in the fridge. I don't have those dried sweet potatoes in my purse or something like that. So it's hard to know without knowing exactly what's going on with you. And I'm not a doctor. I'm a recipe developer. But I think there is something about being okay with being a little hungry sometimes. But that's very different from, I'm hungry and I shouldn't eat.
Yeah. Well, I went through some of that with the McDougall program because I would eat and I would still be hungry, but then I would feel like, I shouldn't eat anymore because I've already I've already had too much today. And so I would just sit there kind of hungry. And Stacy was like, no, if you're hungry, go and get some more food. Don't sit there and be hungry. Sit with it for a little bit and make sure that you're hungry. You know, don't just go, oh, I'm still hungry, and go right back to the refrigerator. Sit with it for just a little bit. And then if you're still hungry, you go back, you get some more food. Usually she would tell me, just go get more starch. It would mean that I haven't had enough starch. And then when I would add the extra starch, and sometimes it wouldn't even be that much. It would just be like maybe, I don't know, quarter cup of rice or something like that. And just that little extra bit was all I needed.
Well, honestly, I'm regretting listening to you and not making rice.
Yeah, I'm kind of regretting I told you not to, too.
Right. So, well, we can figure that out. Because, like, one of the things is that even if you just feel a little hungry, so, like, since we ate 2 meals out, I just ate some fruit. But I think I'm going to need a little bit of some kind. I can eat a little bit of sweet potato, but I can also cook up some rice for you or something like that. But, I mean, the whole thing is not to suffer through this. It's actually to thrive through this. And Vi's word is move, as in my body.
Nice.
That's a great one.
Nice.
Yeah, and Tanya says, I never go hungry. I can't. I have to eat, even it's been an hour since the last bite. Mm-hmm. And I think it is really, you kind of have to figure out what your hunger drives are. You also have to figure out the difference between bored hunger, body hunger, you know, and maybe even like trying to distract myself hunger. Mm-hmm. Like bored hunger and trying to distract myself hunger for me. Like, so I definitely am a stress eater.
Yeah.
So I'm more likely to eat out of stress than boredom or overeat on stress in stressful situations.
Which is interesting because I always thought that I was a stress eater, but I think I proved on our last trip that I am a stress not eater. Because when all the stuff was going on when we were in Key West about the house.
Well, it's because you thought, spoiler alert, everyone's fine. She thought because the heat was going out, the cats would be dead. And I'm like, they're in the house, even though it's 20 degrees outside, because they can burrow under covers. There's like all these great warm hiding places that they can get in and stay safe. Because unfortunately, stray cats are outside during that time, and they come back year to year. It's not good for them, and I'm not saying you should, but like,
well, I don't even think we talked.
Lost her mind because she really thought the animals were going to die that night, and I'm like, they're not.
I was so glad that we were in Key West, so I could use my phone and be able to wait for phone calls and things like that. I don't even think we talked about this yet. This was like the big thing that happened on the cruise. If you do not have a Nest thermostat, or a thermostat that contacts you for anything, I highly, highly recommend it. She thought that this was just another one of my tech gadgets that we didn't need, and it just something else to make her mad when it would disconnect and things.
Well, it's just you have to learn so many little things. Mm-hmm. And I am a tech person. I'm just tired of everything being hard. But this is the second time this year that it, not only did it go, hello, something's wrong, which made me mad, but then it said, and it could be one of these two things. So from the cruise, Cheryl got on.
I got an email that morning that said, there's something wrong with your heating system. The temperature has dropped 5 degrees and it's not heating. And this could be this or it could be this. And you should have it looked at immediately. And of course, I immediately went into panic mode because I'm on a ship. Thank God we were in Key West at the time because we were in the States and it made it much easier for phone calls and stuff. But like that whole walking into Key West and doing all that, like I had a massage that morning before we went to Key West, and I told her the whole time I was trying to enjoy it, and I couldn't because I just kept thinking about everything that was going on. I was waiting for someone to call me, and it was just, it was the weekend. It was on a Saturday. Everybody's not open. The place that we use was not open. And so I was in this panic, and then it was going to be 20 degrees that night, and the cats are here by themselves. I mean, they've got the neighbor coming to check on them, but still, I mean, it turned out that she was able to bring over a little heater and set it up in a room for them, so they had a nice warm place for the night. She came over here and stayed with them longer.
Watched some TV.
Watched some TV. I mean, she was super sweet about the whole thing. And the company that we use, I'm very impressed with them. We actually are a member of, they have like a service membership where they come out a couple times a year and they check things and do things like that. And they deal with electrical, plumbing, heating, and cooling. And one other thing, I can't remember what it is. But they'll check all these different things. And I realized I had a special number to call as a member of that because the regular line said they were closed. And so I called that number, and somebody immediately picked up the phone, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll get somebody out there as soon as we can, and hopefully we can get that taken care of. And so I started to feel a little better, but then I wasn't eating and stuff because every time I would try to eat, then I would like get a phone call or something, and I'd start getting all wound up a bit. And so I was just really worried about the kitties and stuff, so...
And there's a little difference between like this immediate kind of feeling versus like long stress.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really scary, and that's why because I've taken care of cats that live outside. Like we have little boxes for the stray cats to go in, but they don't go in.
Yeah.
Why don't they go into those? Because they found somewhere that works just fine for them.
Yeah.
Penny says serendipity is a good word for what you two are doing, and it really shows that Cheryl's doing great now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do feel mentally much better than I did in September. I feel like just so much better.
And Tia says, for me, I find certain foods will upset my stomach, and sometimes I can't figure out if I'm actually hungry or it's just a stomach issue. And I get that too. Like if I eat too much acid, I have to eat something else, especially if it's late at night. And Video 1000 Eyes was saying the first couple of years were good, and then these are getting harder. And I think as we age, our bodies change a lot too.
Yeah.
And that's something, unfortunately, that we just have to keep figuring in.
Right.
Oh, KDL is home from Pilates.
Nice.
And says, Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. And Tanya says, I would have been worried too. And it wasn't that I wasn't worried. I knew it was all taken care of. I knew our neighbor was too, because I had even said, because my whole thing is figuring out worst case scenario, which sounds horrible, but 99% of the time, worst case scenario isn't that hard. Worst case scenario for this was not the cats are going to die in the cold, but that we would get friends to come get them and take them to their house.
Right.
Or we would, there were all kinds of people we could call on to make sure that wasn't going to happen. So I knew
but
we had 100% guarantee that something could happen.
But consoling me was impossible.
It was impossible. And so I was really glad. And I mean, Nigel was so awesome. She took pictures of the heater and where she put it. Yeah. And she was an amazing pet sitter.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to order some stuff. I'm going to order a heater and stuff from Target and have it sent to the house. And she was like, I have one. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. It was awesome. It made everything a lot easier. And, but I was still kind of stressed out until we got everything fixed. And that didn't happen until Monday. So they had to go all night Saturday and all day Sunday and part of the day on Monday in the cold. And I was like, those poor babies are going to be cold. But turns out they were all nice and toasty in that room down there because another friend came over to sit while the guy came to work on everything. And it was like, it's pretty toasty down here.
Yeah. No, everything.
She said upstairs is really, really cold, but downstairs
we were able to close a room downstairs that also is kind of the way it is our house is kind of like part over that way is covered, and then it gets lower down there. So like literally, it's really it's insulated into the hill.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
underground a little bit.
Because I had said we had talked about that because I was like, we could put them in a bathroom because that's small, easy peasy. But that worked out really well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is interesting. And Tanya says, I never lose my appetite. Even when I'm sick, I'm hungry for some more. If I lose my appetite, I'd be worried something's not okay. Like,
sometimes I do lose my appetite when I don't feel good, but I can always tell when I'm feeling better because then my appetite comes back and I'm like, oh, I want to eat everything now. But I've been like that since I was a kid. I would go, like if I didn't feel good, I'd go days and my mom would just be like, eat this toast, drink this tea. And I'd just be like, I don't want it. And then I'd start feeling better, and then I'd be like wanting junk food. And she'd be like, well, you're obviously feeling better if you think you can eat that. So.
Well, you're a very big tea and toast person.
I am, and I guess that's why I'm a tea and toast person now. But it helps. It always makes me feel better. A little tea and toast.
That's okay. I think that's good.
Speaking of tea, I think I might want some more tea in a bit.
Okay. That sounds good. I think I'm going to let you have the rest of this.
Well, I was just getting ready to say that I think this is a good time for us to wrap it up. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. We will be live at some point tomorrow night, so watch for us to go live. We will schedule something beforehand, so you'll see it pop up if you are subscribed to our channel. And you can subscribe down there somewhere. Am I doing it right?
Yeah.
Down there. And so
hit the bell to get the notifications. I hate saying
Like
that. I
us.
never say that. I never say any of that stuff.
I'm trying to get the, like, I
You're
was
doing
watching
good.
some videos and people were like, hit the bell, subscribe down here. And I'm like, I don't know where all that stuff is because I don't see that.
Right. No.
All I see is both of us,
Yeah.
and then your video, your comments over on the side, and that's
the most important part.
the most important part, and that's all I see.
Well, and chances are, because I got some fancy mushrooms at the Costco last week, so I'm thinking we might do
Those
either
chanterelles.
Yeah, we're either going to do a fancy soup
Oh,
or maybe pasta tomorrow for New Year's Eve.
I would love pasta on New Year's Eve because I think that feels like a nice New Year's Eve kind of thing.
Okay, we can do that. I will just think through the things because I think I have some of my
Or those
creamy salsa.
mushrooms, but those mushrooms you got, are those the kind they use to make like chickeny things with?
It's not hen of the woods, but we
Okay.
can look. I can see if there. Well, we'll do some with
It'll be a
mushrooms.
surprise.
Ta-da!
It's mushroom something.
Look, we have New Year's Eve dates.
Yep.
I love that. Oh, and Penny says I'll be making my black-eyed peas tomorrow to have the next day on New Year's. We'll
Yep.
probably make black-eyed peas on New Year's Day.
And we'll have some greens. Ooh,
I was almost.
we didn't get green. Oh, we have greens?
some.
Okay.
We have some.
Can't not have the greens and the black-eyed peas.
And we can always go to the farmer's market tomorrow, too.
Okay.
What else? Okay. I'm just losing. Yeah. No, not those kinds of fancy mushrooms. The kind you eat. I'm far too paranoid to have the other kind of mushrooms. Oh, good. Well, we're glad that
Yay.
you enjoyed it. Yay, Hydrant's here. Ooh, you got a lion's mane mushroom kit. That's
Nice.
awesome. Love those.
Nice.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Big hugs, and we will see you tomorrow night.
And thank you for being our family.